So, woo! Perfect. Live stream. We're streaming right now.
There we go.
And for coughing, it's just because we're smoking some CBD, which is completely legal in our country that we are based in.
Just some straight CBD.
Exactly.
Let me check this screen, make sure we're good.
Okay, just gonna pretend like there are people. That's usually how I stream.
Yeah.
It's going to be going up on my channel, Dex Damora.
Yes, sir.
I'm Dex Damora, Shadow Stepper.
I am James, Oscar Fish Guy, or Jimmy, whatever you want to call me.
I know you go by Son Jameson some places,
Son
right?
Jameson, you can call me that too. Uncle Jay.
No, this is the bad lighter. Give me
Lighter.
the one.
Lighter
There,
check.
I think.
Oh, this is fucking crazy, man. Yeah, but first.
I don't know if this is going to have a name. I don't know. Come up. I have no clue.
It says right here. Yeah, Dex Damora live stream.
Okay, so it just comes up live stream.
That's
Cool.
good for us.
I don't even know if I'm going to have a recording after this. It could just be if you watch the live stream. YouTube usually makes a video out of it later anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
So, hopefully audio sounds good. I think it sounded good.
Yeah, I can hear it perfectly fine on the live stream right there.
Cool, not too loud.
No.
This is probably irritating people.
Well, let's
So,
Let's get
just some
into it,
ground
bro.
rules. Not
Yes.
really crazy. My only ground rule here is communication. I think that's really the term of this. As long as we're communicating, even if we get a little crazy and yell at each other or argue a little bit, it doesn't matter. I think that's the problem with society, really, is that no one
Yeah.
communicates.
No, everybody's on phones.
Especially
nowadays.
with males. Males are, it's kind of drilled into a male through society, through upbringing, that you can't show any emotion. Gotta be a big, strong man.
Cry. Don't you cry.
Don't you cry. Don't you cry.
If
You
cry,
can't even talk about yourself like me. Like one of my things now is Gundam models.
Yeah.
If you come to my place, you'll see tons of Gundam shit. And here's the thing: when I first bought a Gundam model, the way I went about it was to hope that nobody would find out that I bought a Gundam model.
Really?
I'd even use my own Citadel card because my mom has access to my bank account, so that way she can also look at it, monitor it in case I don't see something, she sees something. I have no problem with it.
So that at your old house?
Still.
Really?
She still does it. I don't have any problem with it, really.
Oh shit.
And when I bought my first model, it was a GN002 Gundam Dynamis. High grade, I believe it was. It was like $20. And I may have also bought a Gundam Exia for an additional $20.
Yeah.
And how I went about it is I took my car, went up to the Walmart in my local neighborhood, and bought a prepaid card and put on the money that I needed for the purchase before making it on a different card. And then I used this card just to make the purchase, and as soon as I made that purchase, that card was done.
Hey.
And that's how I bought the first Gundam model. And it wasn't until, God, I think I had them for like maybe a couple months before I finally showed my parents, and they were like, "Why didn't you tell us?" And I was like, "I don't know, because I have a brother that's a jock that would beat the shit out of me because I'm a
What
weak."
is this shit?
That's really the reason I never showed off who I was, is that I had a jock. Love my brother, but he beat the shit out of me, and he's one of the reasons that my anime loving is so...
I was there for a couple of those days.
Don't think I'm being child abused or anything by my older brother. It's just simple brother shit. When you have a brother and there's two brothers together, they're gonna beat the shit out of each other. It doesn't matter shit.
There's some siblings out there that have stabbed their siblings in the past.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this knife wound. Oh,
I
that's
love
from
my
Kevin.
brother. We hang out and we just sit and chill about music. My brother's a totally different person now. I don't know what changed, but people change. And I love my brother. I always have. Well, he was kind of an ass. I hated getting beat up, but then I got into a fight, and the dude who was much bigger than me, I was on top of him, and I beat the shit out of him.
I
And then people were like, I even remember when I first showed my dad this. Love this story.
Yeah.
Got in a fight with one of my friends here, his friend. So I got in a fight with just call you James, his friend. And when I fought him, we're not going to use any names for this guy I fought. We'll just call him
Joe Doe.
Joe Doe.
Joe Doe.
Joe Doe. So I fought Joe Doe. Not his real name. I fought Joe Doe. And you want to know why I fought him? Because there's a different motherfucker pissing me off.
Which one was this? Red-haired Goku?
This was red-haired. I am African American. He was instigating it all, basically, and he was like, "Oh, you're a pansy, you don't want to fight." No, I don't want to fight. I am perfectly fine. Leave me the fuck alone.
I gotta lay a context for them. The red-haired Goku kid we're talking about is a redhead kid from New York that thinks he's a gangster wannabe. Go on.
Yeah. So, and here's what will happen. It happened the last half of the day, one day after school.
I remember that.
And they kept antagonizing me. I was like, dude, I just want to go to fucking my German class and then building, and I just want to leave.
I just want to
okay?
get the fuck out of
I don't want to fight no room. I don't care about impressing motherfuckers. Leave me the fuck alone. I don't want none of this shit, okay? And how I got them to go away is I just walked in the German class. What are they going to do with a teacher in front of me, right?
Yeah.
Can't do shit. I just walked away. And the next day, very beginning of the day, before I even got to like my first class, they're already sitting there trying to start shit. I was like, you've had an entire like 8 hours. Let it go. I didn't even realize the guy who wanted to fight me, why he wanted to fight me.
Yeah.
I didn't figure it out until I got in trouble for fighting.
I hate that that's how most middle school fights start. You don't know until you get into the fight and it's like, really? We just fought over some petty shit like that?
So, we fight, and I remember asking later down the line, I was like, yo, what did you think when you heard that me and one of your friends fought? Because honestly, in high school, actually middle school, I wasn't sure how me and you were. Like, are we just friends? Yeah. Like, are we like truer people? Like, we care about each other? And until high school, I still wasn't sure if I was friends with you or not. I remember asking you, and if you remember what you said,
it was the fuck was he arguing about?
I can tell you what he was arguing about. I can tell you why we fought. You want to know why we fought? It's dumb as shit.
Fat comment or some shit like that?
Apparently I was making fun of him for being fat. And I probably made fun of him in one of those technical classes that we had during middle school. It was like the sewing class.
I don't even think you made fun of. I think you were talking about the fat black Joe Dell, the fat black one.
Folks, do not worry. He has African American in his family. We're not racist.
I can. I'm not gonna say the N word, but I can damn near talk about whatever. Like, hey,
I've seen his grandfather's picture. Trust me, no one gets more African American than that.
Don't let this confuse you. I grew up in a black household.
My interests on race are you an asshole? No. If I ain't gotta talk to you, I'm fine with that too.
As long as you're not a dishonest human being, good with me, man.
Yeah.
There's people I've met. I think some of the nicest people I've met on planet Earth are actual African, like.
Oh, dude, I love African Americans.
Africa. The nicest fucking people you will ever meet because they're so humble. Francis Ngannou. He's from Africa. He's from Cameroon. Bro, he's the most humble fighter.
Man, you making me feel white. I'm like, who the fuck you talking about?
He's fucking big. If you were to walk through that...
What the fuck's this dude's name? We're talking about someone here.
Francis Ngannou. Now, as soon as you type in Francis, you'll probably get it.
I'm sorry, I'm a terrible speller.
F-R-A-N. C-I-S?
McDormand?
Nah. No. That's a weird... What is that?
Francis, what was the fucker's last name?
Type in N-G. Yep, there it is.
Ngannou. Okay, so this is the dude this dude's talking about.
Yeah. Keep in mind, like 6'8", fucking 300 pounds, just pure muscle.
Okay, yeah, see, this is why I wouldn't know. I don't know anyone outside of UFC.
Just look at and he's straight from Cameroon. This man has crossed the ocean.
Okay, this is probably the most recent picture. Yeah, you wouldn't want to fight that dude. Look at him. Look at the size of that motherfucker. Nicest dude you probably ever met, right?
You see him with the dreadlocks right there? That's when he first came from Africa. and he went from Africa, dude.
Damn.
He has crossed the desert and the sea 7 times in a row.
Damn.
And each time they called him, sent him back to die, put him in the middle of the desert, and was like, bye-bye. So he had to choose right there. Do I go back home and die, trying to make my way there, or do I just go back and try to make it to France? Kept on doing it. And now the dude's one of the top tier UFC fighters ever in the world. Think about it. He came from another cup, man.
Dude, if there's one thing
some people got dedication. I don't feel like I got that.
If there's one thing people don't understand is that if you look at human beings outside the scope of what a human being is, like, and what I mean by that is if you look at a human being, like if we go back to like Stone Age times, and we look at the view of one of the prehistoric elk, deer type animals, and we look at how they would view humans. If we would take their brainwaves when they're running away, they are incredibly fast, much faster than humans. Yeah. You want to know how we would kill these motherfuckers?
Guns, deer.
Well, yeah, but you want to know how we'd be able to get up with them? We never would stop running. These dudes would run at top speed for like 10 minutes, and they're like, oh, good, I can't see them anymore.
These guys.
I gotta cool myself down with my tongue because I don't. And then they'll sit there and be like, what the hell is that? And turn around, and here's this hairless monkey fucking still chasing me. And so I sit there and I'm running and booking away. And I'm running top speed. I'm starting to overheat now.
I'd be fucking petrified.
And I'm like, I can't go anymore. I'm overheating. My body is literally telling me if you don't stop, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So I have no choice but to sit, lay down, and cool myself off. Otherwise, I'm gonna overheat. Like dogs don't cool themselves off the way humans do with sweating.
No.
They don't do that. They use their tongue. When you see a dog that's tired, it usually is wailing itself with its tongue.
That's why you can't lock it in a hot car, man. Dogs don't sweat. They their mouth salivates, and so they'll open their mouth and just they don't sweat. It's hyperventilating basically.
Now we're no scientists or whatever. I get my references. This was from a Joe Rogan podcast who was talking about him. So shout out Joe Rogan. Watch him. Amazing podcast. But yeah, that's why humans are so crazy. Is that if you look at other animals in nature, because we're technically an animal, is one thing that humans have is the endurance.
Yes.
And keep going, even when you think you ain't got nothing left. The only time you literally have nothing left is when your body physically says, nah, fuck this shit. And I've seen, not in real life, thankfully, but I've seen the videos of like runners who are doing a marathon and their body literally gives out on them and they can't run no more.
Yeah.
They literally can't like even move. It's usually pretty sad because they trained their whole life to finish this marathon. And thankfully, most of the good times, there's someone along the sidelines or another racer who helps them out. But human beings are incredibly scary when you think about it.
You want to know who gets the worst of the bunch, man? Wrestlers. When they professional, when they hit their 60s, 50s, they just crumple up.
Are we talking like?
They just crumple.
Are we talking like WWE wrestlers or like wrestlers
talking,
like
on the floor grappling?
Okay, we're talking like Roman Greco wrestling. Yes.
I mean, look at somebody like Hulk Hogan. Like he's in his like 67. He walks around perfectly fine, right? Look at Ben Askren. He's only in his 40s, and this man just walks around just.
Yep.
I feel so bad for him.
Now, I'm by no means a professional wrestler, but I do have experience. I wrestled in middle school. He can akin to this.
Yes.
As my proof. You don't know tired till you have gone 3 rounds in wrestling. So I think usually 3 rounds in wrestling is usually 3 or 5 minutes, somewhere around there in wrestling. It's been a long time, so I'm rusty. It's around the 3 to 5 minutes, and that's 3 rounds. And you usually only have about like 15-second breather. And usually after the first round, you start neutral, which is you're both standing, then you go to your coach, whoever is declared to be like, the ref will sit there and be like, James, your decision, where do you want to be? When he asks that, you can either be neutral, ground, or bottom, or top. Bottom, top. Well, yeah, because it's Roman wrestling, and another way to talk about it is mounting.
Yeah.
And you look at your coach, and he'll be like, I think you have a chance of winning or getting more points or something. I want you on bottom. And until you've been in that mat, for 3 minutes with you and one other guy.
Dude.
Now, I've been 3 rounds. I've beaten the guy at the end, near the middle of the 3rd round. Nothing compares to what my brother did one time, where he took a guy to not 1, not 2, not 3 rounds, not 4 rounds, not 5 rounds, but 6 rounds. He took him to triple overtime. And my brother was 1st or 2nd year in high school. He took this dude from downtown, from different schools, senior, and he took him to triple overtime. Made the paper on their side of the school because, again, newspapers, they show what they want to show. And they were like, whoa, our senior so strong and beat enemy high school's senior in triple overtime. But then show the fact that my brother was not a senior and had not been doing it as long as this other kid, and he took him to triple overtime. Now I can't remember exactly the time limits, but that's a long time to be wrestling one motherfucker.
Oh my god, yeah.
It is exhausting,
bro.
And for people that I know, middle school, I faced this, where people are like, oh, you're gonna be wrestling, and I remember when I first went to wrestling, I knew what wrestling was. I wanted to do wrestling. I was like, my brother does wrestling. I want to be the tough, strong guy. I want to be, I wanted to, get some, I wanted to be prideful. I wanted to prove myself to people. We had, I wouldn't say, we grew up in the city, and we kind of had, the ghetto side. It was ghetto. And we had the kids that, they didn't understand what wrestling was. They didn't know what wrestling was. And we had, the standard dudes come out. It was like, yeah, I can wrestle. I play football. I play basketball. Wrestling's not shit.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, those kids learned something. And also, most of them didn't even come to their first day. I think our first time wrestling, we had 3 kids.
And one of them was a little person. I remember that kid.
We had 3 or 4 kids. Originally, it was me, Jay, and T.
Yeah. And then,
I think maybe the next year we had a couple more.
we got the Eric to the squad.
But I remember, I don't know if you remember this. I think I remember telling you this, though. We had that one girl. That Dom.
Yes. Oh my god.
She went out for wrestling. Female, not just her, a couple female. And the whole thing about wrestling is that it's a very hands-on sport.
Yeah.
Now, the teacher was like, he wasn't sexist or whatever, but he was like, listen, I have no problems letting females wrestle.
Oh.
But you gotta realize this is a very hands-on sport. There's gonna be a dude behind you at some point.
Literally,
their crotch area is going to be at your ass area. And they're going to be on top of you. They're going to be grappling. There's going to be a lot of touching and feeling. Comes to that, but then you also have to remember when we're wrestling, you know what you're allowed to wear? The underwear you chose that day, and a singlet. That is it.
That's it.
So I mean, if you went back to the origins of wrestling, motherfuckers are probably just wrestling themselves butt naked.
Yeah. Didn't we have to stop practice one time because the little person accidentally ejaculated on another person?
I don't remember this.
I remember.
But I don't remember a lot from my past days because I blocked that out.
This was a very awkward memory of that team. There was a moment that we literally had to stop practice because and when I say little person, I don't mean
you just mean
short.
physically.
I mean he was but I don't want to say midget because you're not allowed to. He was a little person in our high school. And he was wrestling around with another small person that they tried to find, a 6th grader, and the coach had to stop. And I was asking myself, why are we stopping? Nothing's wrong. Why are we stopping?
This was up at North, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember him pulling the little person to the side.
I think I vaguely remember this.
And he was kind of sitting there like this. I'm like, I started piecing two and two together, and some other kid had to go clean up in the bathroom or get changed or something.
I remember this now. I wasn't part of it. I was off to the side because I'm the big dude. They're not going to have the big dude wrestle the small guy.
They were trying to tell him,
He's
like...
fucking wrestling the heavyweight.
Yeah, they were telling him, like, it's a normal thing, and don't worry about it. He was, like, embarrassed about it, just sitting there with his head down, his face was red. I was like...
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I totally remember that. Yeah, I blocked that out.
I just figured out that this little dude's gay. Oh, my God. And listen, I could tell he was gay because me and him have damn near skin-to-skin wrestled in that school.
No, yeah.
Nobody
That's
else
basically what wrestling is.
We were only heavyweights on that team at that moment. There
was there was me, you, the one band nerd who did not last after a couple practices. You didn't either. You never did any professional matches.
I couldn't.
There was me and one other kid. And when I say this dude big, I mean he big. I think he was like middle linebacker for our football team.
God damn.
Yeah, he used to just sit there and he knew I wasn't going to put up much of a fight against him. So he'd just be like, I'm just going to around and just try weird shit out on you.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was the second biggest guy on the team.
I remember that shit clear as day.
Yeah.
And
but
yeah.
I know we were getting off top. Well, not off top. There's no such thing as off topic here. But
Ramble.
yeah. But the original story that was like when me and your friend fought, Joe Doe. Whatever. I don't know why we called him that. What the hell, weird name. But whatever.
Joe Doe is like it's like a police name for a murder.
Oh, okay.
And they have no idea who it is. It was Joe Doe or Goku. Let's call him Goku.
So I was fighting Joe, and I remember asking you like maybe a week after. I always ask you this, and I was like, "What did you think about the fight?" And I remember what I remember you saying was that your response to people in class, because you weren't there when this happened. You were in the class, and then you heard all this fuss, because it's middle school. As soon as a fight breaks out, the entire hallway that the fight's on figures out there's a fight.
What?
And I remember kids coming up to you and saying, "Yo, your boy Dan is fighting Joe," and you're like, "Why?" And people are like, "Yeah, why would Dan fight Joe?" And you're like, "You don't understand. Why would Joe fight Dan?"
My response.
You knew at the time who I fought all the time and wrestled with.
I remember a couple of kids running up to the actual door itself, and the classroom door. They started knocking on it, pounding on it. We heard a lot of commotion coming from out in the class. Like my teacher's desk was over on the right. I'm sitting there just looking at her like, she was like, "Go, should I stay?" I remember somebody just running in. I'm looking at the kids in my class. I don't see Joe in the class. I'm starting to piece two and two together. I'm like,
because you must have known there was bad blood between us for some reason.
I thought there was a fight out there, and they're out there watching. So when they come in, I'll have Joe tell me what the hell happened.
Nope, Joe was part of it.
So no one came in besides big ass RJ came up to the door and was like, "Yo, my God, you fucking fight!" I'm like, who's fighting out there?
Fuck it, we'll use their real names.
Like Joe, RJ. His real name's Robert, but RJ came running up to me.
Who cares? Like, we're not bad mouthing them.
We're just
no bad blood.
Telling stories from school. That's all.
So
I'm 25. He's 20. We're years past that.
Yeah.
Right
So who cares? We're not trying to.
No hate, no anything like that. Just
nothing
funny
bad.
stories.
Just throwing out a story, but
Yeah, I remember RJ came running in, and then Luis followed that. Luis is the New York kid.
The red-haired kid.
The red-haired kid. Too much trouble to be around, I'll tell you that. One of those type of kids. I remember they came running in telling me that Jonas just fought. I'm like...
It's Joe.
Like, so who'd you just fight? And they're like, oh, like Daniel.
Now, I don't know if I've ever heard. What is their reaction of the fight?
There was no reaction. It was kind of just, yeah, they fought. I was like, I think the reason that they were kind of just like, yeah, they fought, because they know that there was no fight. It was more of a Joe trying to hit you, and you were just tossing him constantly. It's like,
you know what's funny?
This isn't going to work for you.
Most people say that I may have tossed him or did something. I may have in the haze of fighting, but I feel like he tripped.
But you don't, your body really doesn't, like, understand what you're doing in that fight or flight moment.
Again, yeah.
You probably, there's a good chance that you might just, have you ever strangled him? I mean, that sounds fucking weird. During the fight, did you ever, like, have a pin on him?
Yeah, I had him between my legs.
Yeah, see, there's a point where you could have been like, you done? You know what, as soon as you get that, dude, there's...
I think I had him when I was like that. I had him between my legs. I was straddling him, straddling his chest, and I think I had my other hand in a fist above. And I more or less was just like, just going to hold this position because he has to know that he's lost.
Yeah.
But I think what happened is because I was in middle school, 6th grade, I had a little blue MP3 player.
Yeah, I was just about to bring this up.
It fell out of my pocket, and I was in the right mindset to be like, oh shit! My MP3 player, that's more important than this fight. So I went to grab it, he slipped from under me, and we stood back up ready in fighting position. Teacher comes walking in.
Now, you know...
He continued the fight. I turned around and grabbed my book bag and started walking down the stairs because I knew, go to the principal's office.
Well, I'll tell you something. You know you are the winner in this fight when you stop to pick up your shit. Listen, I've been into a couple of fights in school before. I've dropped phones, I've dropped my book bag, I've dropped everything. I never once stopped to pick. I think for one time I stopped to grab my bag and just continue to swing on it. It was a little kid, but he was fucking... I was not a bully, I was a bully's bully. You can ask him. I was a fucking... You remember the one kid, Brian, that was fucking with you as a prank?
Oh, yeah, you went totally off on it. I was scared because I thought there was an unseen force behind me. I knew he was joking. I was like, ha, 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 very funny. Then he was gone. And I was terrified. I was like, oh, shit, Jason just got him. This motherfucker is dead. I need to be scared for my life, and turned around and saw you. And I was like, oh, shit, now I need to de-escalate this because... I was like, yo, no, he's joking, chill.
I remember the panic in his face was like, yeah, man, I'm fucking joking. I'm like,
oh my god, he probably pissed himself.
Bro, I had him
probably made that kid piss himself. You had him off the ground, I'm pretty sure.
All of the kids were on the bus like, just looking out the window like, what? I was like, where do you want me to put him, bro? And you're just down on the floor. I'm like, bro, I wasn't a tall kid in high school, but I was a big boy.
You were a big guy.
I was a big boy. You didn't want to swing a fist on. I was the dude that would just grab you and just start taking you for a ride, a little spinny joy ride.
Yep.
But yeah, to backtrack on what we were saying, man, that they came in and they were telling me basically.
They didn't say anything because they knew that he lost.
Yeah, they were kind of waiting for the reveal. And I remember, I don't think did I call you that night? Or did we...
May have. It was either that night or that weekend.
Or was this the day of school that me and you actually left middle school for the first time?
Oh my god, it may have. Because I left school because I was suspended.
I did follow you then. Okay, I did follow you.
Yes!
Because we did not get on those buses. We just left. I said, yo, let's just go to your house. Let's just go. And we just left middle school and started walking.
It wasn't when we fought, but it was...
I remember there was a day that we did leave, though.
It was like a week, the first week I came back.
Damn, man.
But I remember when my dad first saw James.
Yeah.
It was during a high school football game. And my dad was like... We were sitting at a football game, watching, I think I was in high school, so it wasn't my brother playing, it was just the local football team, my dad supporting this school, I don't know.
It was like when we got right into 9th grade.
Yeah, and I saw Jonas, I was like, hey look, that's the kid I fought. And my dad was like, where? That one. And he's like, that one? He's like, you mean that one? I was like, no, the big one. And he was like, you fought him? And I was like, no. My brother was still in high school.
Yeah.
I remember this because my response, we were still in middle school, I think.
Oh,
we may have still been in middle school because I remember my response when my dad said, you fought him? He's twice your size. And then I sat there and I was like, yeah, but I fought him, number 36, on the football field right now, and he's 7 times my size.
That is when he says.
And my dad's like,
man,
you got a point.
you guys ever see like those movies or those prank shows where somebody like or a party and they just start fucking up the living room and shit just starts to shake back and forth? The type of wrestling matches that I witnessed between, well, not really wrestling, more of his brother just going, let me put you in the arm bar, and him going, no, I'm good tonight. And his brother just consists on putting him in the arm bar, even though Daniel will try to fight against it for 10, 15 minutes straight. So when I say that this boy has resistance, and he can hold his ground for, you don't want to fight him. Especially when it comes to grapple, and this man will have you pinned on the floor for half an hour and probably still not be tired.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to striking, like boxing and UFC,
I don't have any experience.
I got you. But when it comes to on the groundwork, like trying to manhandle somebody, it ain't fucking happening. Bro, I still...
Did that set you off?
I thought that was your background for a second. I'm like,
no.
You like sperm whales? This is a new assumption. Oopsie.
Sorry, that's Fallout.
Can you tell what game mods we were looking up?
That was Fallout. That's a mod. There's no sexual content in there. There's no nudity. Trust me. I've looked at the image, but we're not showing it because
don't ban us.
This is my background. Currently is just the Microsoft Windows background because
you know what's funny.
Know,
YouTube. I can say this about YouTube right here. Your bots are shit. Now I can curse in. They only check the first minute of the video.
Damn.
Hello. So we could be talking about murder right now, and anybody on YouTube would just.
I'm not going to make a joke about that because then there are NSA and motherfuckers that will watch the video.
This is honestly very true. I think as long as
and even if it's not, it'll be one of you dumbass motherfuckers who's like, oh, and they'll spread a rumor.
Well,
then the rumor will eventually spread, and it'll take 5 years to spread. But then eventually, when I'm in my height of fame, it'll be like, Daniel has committed murder.
Oh fuck! This is where it's gonna get us. This is where it's gonna bite us in the ass.
I mean, like it's gonna be episode 1 of the vlog. They're gonna be like, oh, he said he committed murder. No, I did not.
Imagine when we make it. They're gonna cut and chop up this video and use it, and that's gonna. I'm not even gonna say it. But I'm going to say it right now. Imagine if that's what bites us in the ass. Just so you get this clip of us saying
well, we're going to tell you right now during the video when you watch the literally 10 seconds after.
We're joking.
Exactly.
Don't fucking...
We are kind of like comedians that are not famous.
Please don't take anything we say, unless we're talking about a serious topic.
Yeah.
Don't take anything we say ever seriously, ever.
This is a good segue. I was not angry during that fight with Jonas.
Yeah.
You saw me angry the one time with Patrick motherfucking McQuillan.
Oh my god.
You saw me get literally pissed off where...
Bro.
This was on a bus. There were multiple people around me, and usually I don't want to be the showcase. I don't want to do none of this crazy stuff. I just want to be quiet. I want to be left alone, and I don't want to draw no attention. I could not help in that situation.
I'll clarify for you guys that Daniel is the type of person that if something happens to him, he could care less. But if something happens to somebody that he actually cares about and there's like emotions and feelings involved in that,
I'm gonna put you 10 feet under.
yeah, there's a reason like is gotta be careful of who you talk to and what you say around certain people because you never know who has feelings for somebody.
And let's be honest, I think we both can agree Patrick McQuillan's kind of a sexist asshole.
Very sexist. Oh my, I got some personal stories that I think we'll tell in another podcast. We say goes deep, or if we start to get into it, but me and Patrick actually legit got some like, oh, you done some stuff to like try to disrespect my manhood.
Ooh.
Like it went deep, like deep, where it's like.
I honestly can't tell you exactly what I said to the kid because I was in a blind rage, kind of. If I were to simulate what I said, it was situation. I'm sitting on a seat, window seat. the emergency seat. That's usually where I sat. I was fine. I was happy with it. Just kind of as a pointer, like, I was like, oh, emergency seat. I'll sit there. I can always figure out which one I'm sitting in. It's that one. The big letters that say emergency exit. Or around there. And I think I was sitting in a seat by myself, and I had my back against the window, usually, because I usually sat by myself. And then there's a seat next to me filled with kids, a seat to the behind them, so diagonal from me, and that's, I think, where Patrick McClone, no, that was filled with kids. And then to the right of me was the girl in question, Jackie. I would say her last name was Jackie. And then behind her was Patrick. And she just got out of open heart surgery, and I had a crush on her, more or less. So I had some sort of feelings towards her. She just got out of open heart surgery, and she's, trying to get some support from the local kids, and, like, oh, poor me, I'm sure, but...
She had scoliosis growing up in elementary, too.
Yeah, so she had, like, a serious surgery, and she, pulled her shirt down to the right a little bit to show where the scar was. I was honestly, like, concerned, and I was like, okay, well, that's good, you're here, you got a scar, they'll go away, right? Like, legitimate, things. And I remember what he said triggered me. And there was no second comment, it was just one, and immediately I was like a puma hunting. I pounced. And I think what he said was something like, oh, don't show me your underwear or your tits or whatever. And immediately I was like, listen! I probably was cursing. I was probably like, listen, you dumb fucking shit! She's trying to show you her scar because she just had open heart surgery, you fucking... And I was just like, if you say something like that ever again, I'm gonna grab that fucking window you're sitting next to.
Oh, I don't even blame you.
Something like that. That was definitely not what I said. I was in a blind rage, but it was something near those, and I remember. I'm pretty sure I was the only sound on that bus when that happened.
Yeah. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is called...
And that, unfortunately, was the end of the conversation, because I removed myself from it, and everyone else was just like, I don't think we want to speak anymore. I don't want to piss that off.
Yeah. Y'all gotta keep in mind, Patrick was, back in middle school, he was the popular kid, but that most definitely not
I'm pretty sure someone on that bus went home and said, I don't want to go to school tomorrow. That kid had just said he wanted to kill someone.
Yeah.
Because I basically said, I'm going to shove your head through that window. Listen. And I don't mean through an open window. I mean, I was going to take his head and shove it through the window. I may have actually said, now that I think about it.
Now that I think about it.
I may have actually said that I wasn't going to shove his well. But I also may have said that it's either going to be that, or I'm going to shove your head through that open window and close it.
Yeah, bro.
I was pissed.
The reason that I think that...
Sexism will piss me off. If you are a sexist piece of shit, me and you have no right to life.
And you can ask, there's no tolerance between me and Daniel when it comes to that shit.
No.
If we see it in public, if we see any type of harassment, big boy. Two big boys over here.
Yeah.
We double up on you. Double hippo. Boo boo.
Yeah, I'm big. I'm probably like 5'9", like 220.
Boo. Nah, I'm 5'9", so you gotta be like 5'10", 5'11".
I could be. I don't give a fuck about my size. I really don't.
We will launch you through whatever is nearby. You'll get launched through it. I'm not saying that because I'm a hateful person towards other people, but please don't be a nasty human being around me.
I am the opposite.
Just don't be nasty around me, bro.
I am the pure definition of don't fuck with the quiet kid, because the quiet kid is quiet for a reason.
Yes. We don't talk.
There were multiple times where, honestly, you also want to know what? Unfortunately, I get this from my grandfather. If me and you got different opinions, if I talk, my opinion's gonna be different than yours. You're not gonna like it, and I'm not gonna fucking care.
And see,
it's simple as that. You can sit there and be like, "I support the right president." I'm gonna be like, "I support the left president." Fuck you. And they'll be like, "You support the left president?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care."
I think that's what makes us.
I got called down the office for shit like that once, and I had to explain myself. I was like, I don't care.
I think that's what makes us such great friends is that, dude, you could say something, and instead of most people, you'll get like a retaliation after. Like, for example, let's just make it simple and say, My favorite color is red.
I like green.
What the fuck? I live in Pennsylvania. My favorite color is green. How dare you? Yeah, I'm not, bro. If you say my favorite color is red, I'll be like, dope. Mine's blue. It's just the most.
I'm like, cool. Mine's green. Whatever.
Yeah. You gotta see that simple side in life, and we've been to school with those type of kids where it's like, oh, I'm from this area, or I watched this show. Like, ew, you actually support that person? Like, yeah.
So here's the thing: we know what anime is, right? Everyone watching this stream, we know what anime is, and
fuck yeah.
I know one of you are going to be like, it's just cartoons. No. It's adult cartoons.
No.
And the difference between anime and cartoons is that cartoons are for kids. Anime is for teenagers, young adults, and adults now.
The difference, man.
Watch Berserk and tell me that's a cartoon. You will not like what you are seeing if you're going in thinking SpongeBob, Teen Titans. You don't want to watch Berserk. Or even, here's one better that's not quite as terrible in the sense of what it talks about. Berserk is bad. Yeah. Also, rest in peace to the creator of Berserk. I think he just died recently.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Watch Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever wanted to see a person get fucking eaten by a giant? No? Don't watch anime.
I mean,
some animes are better than others. You know, there are things like Sailor Moon, which honestly, if you watch it, probably still had a meaning of female something. You know, Yu Yu Hakusho, their first episode, the main character dies and gets hit by a car. The first episode. That's the first, 10 seconds of the episode.
And there's some animes out there that...
You know, or Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z, if you looked at that, there's some not okay shit about that. Send a child into space at the age of 5.
There's some animes out there that strictly belong on this website called Pornhub.
There's also animes like that. Most of those are hot trash because, let's be honest, it's usually a hot girl getting memed by 12 fat dudes.
Have you ever seen the actual?
Have you ever seen an adult anime? And I mean adult anime as in adult XXX.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one where the main character actually, a main character near you, hot young guy, or teenager gets with a hot female? Most people love that shit. They could be happy just seeing the main character fall in love and actually plowing the female love interest.
Yeah.
But no, 90% of porn is the fat ugly dude. Well, sorry, not porn, but anime is the fat ugly dude who's sweaty and has no wife raping the young girl. Who likes this shit?
Bro, there's a one anime scene that involves a couple of girls in a bathroom with it has to be 50 men in there. I'm just like, this does not happen in any school.
No!
You never walk into a bathroom and the teachers and students are in there yeah, my turn. It just does. It's not realistic.
No, it doesn't!
But at the same time, real life porn is the most far from thing of realistic you could possibly get. No one ever shows up to a house and goes, I forgot the money to my pizza. Is there another way I could pay? Yeah, you got a card? Or
yeah.
I have a job I gotta fucking keep later.
There are so many funny memes of that where it's just a girl trying to be seducing her plumber and the plumber's just no, you can't do that. The L-traps don't work that way.
It's a $750 job, woman.
Yeah. But, to the topic that started this. So we all know what anime is. Now, I'm sure you know this, and I'm going to be asking the question if people are watching this. Do you know the anime Death Note?
Yes.
Did you know that anime in middle school?
I didn't know it in middle school, but I've heard of it.
Okay. Boom, right there. That goes to show you that in middle school, about 99%, somewhere around there, kids had no idea what anime was besides Dragon Ball Z, Naruto.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon.
Even Bleach I knew a little bit of.
Bleach. Now, I knew of Death Note already in middle school. Love Season 1, Season 2, you can go fucking die in a river. I don't like Season 2. But, I remember, this is how dumb my class was. And how gullible they were. I didn't even change the concept. Yeah. I just basically sat there and wanted to say, you know what? One day I sat there in my mind, subconsciously, with everyone in my class that fucks around with me. And I'm just going to see how far I can take it. How far can I take this? I took it pretty far. I didn't even have to do any of the work. Is the fun part. I basically just had to answer a couple of questions, like I was talking about Death Note without talking about Death Note and just pretend it's real life. Really simple shit. Just talk about Dragon Ball Z like you're Goku. And when they say, oh, well, what's your childhood like? Oh, well, I lived with an old man because I can't remember, hit my head on a rock or something, and I just lived with an old man in the woods 90 feet away from any technology or people, so I kind of am a hermit.
Yeah.
People would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then sit there and be like, my name is also Goku. And they'd be like, oh! That's basically what I did, but I used Death Note. Pointed Death Note. Book comes down. You write in the book. You write certain names and conditions. They die.
Yeah.
The person who has the Death Note will also eventually die by using the Death Note. You shorten your life, yada yada yada. Basically, that's how I got in trouble one time. Was 4 kids. I think her name's Alejandra, Jordan, the male, Jordan, the female. Yes, I had 2 people named Jordan. One was male, one was female. Hated both of them.
Alejandro was definitely a she-male.
Ugh. I never even picked up on that. That could have been.
I could tell.
I could have been with that. I totally could have been with that, and I didn't want none of it.
I could tell by how she. You ain't a girl. You
I
look
never
like a girl,
picked up
but
on
you ain't
that.
a girl. The
I
older
never
I got,
picked up
the more
on-
I realized it.
I never picked up because of the personality. She irritated me. It was her, Jordan, and Christian. Separately, I had no problems with anyone besides Alejandra. Still didn't like her, even if she was me and her or alone. Now, if it was just me and Jordan, me and the other Jordan, me and Christian, I enjoyed them. I liked them. And I remember one time, I used to have this book. You know the book. You've seen it. The red book with the black book with the red coloring. Basically, it's a journal, allows me to write stuff. And this is where I first started writing, creating the story, and all that we talk about all the time. Eventually, I may share it. You can actually find it on, if you have a phone, smartphone, go to the Google, web novel. If you go to the Google Play Store or the Android App Store, the Google Play Store, the Android App Store, or the iPhone App Store, whatever they fucking call it, you go and download web novel. We've checked it on a Motorola, which uses Google Play, and we've checked it on his iPhone. You can get it. Don't go in there expecting much. It's maybe 750 words, roughly. It's more of an introduction.
Yeah.
I'm not going to claim to be the best writer. I kind of suck, to be honest, is how I put it. But I think that's all creators. They don't know if they're actually really good. They all believe they suck.
It's hard.
But I plan on trying. I think my real goal is to try and get it on screen, somehow animated. But back to the question is that's I was writing this book. That's what I was writing about. A story of my own. It's the only thing in the book. Also, it didn't matter what I said because no one can read my handwriting besides me. But how I got sent to the vice principal's office was because they were just like, what are you writing? And I had enough. I was like, I'm going to fuck with these people. Yeah. I know they probably had no idea what Death Note is, but I'm just going to steal the idea of Death Note, and this is what I'm going to answer all these questions about.
Yeah, all right.
And they were like, what are you writing? I was like, I'm writing down people's names in a book to kill them. No, it is, and you know I'm fucked individual, and I'm doing this for a joke for none other than myself. I am probably the only one in my class that gets. And they're like, what? And they went along with it at first. They're like, oh, well, who's the first one on the list? I basically just let them decide. I was basically just like, well, what are you? And I think how it went was, I think Alejandra was 1.
Yeah.
Christian was 2. Jordan female was 3. Jordan male was 4 because I liked him the most out of the group probably. And then I just had them basically. Next day I get called down to the principal's office. Like, someone's telling you you have a book that I'm like, I laughed. I physically laughed because I knew I took it so far to a point that they thought I was serious and actually thought I needed help. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, no. This is the book in question. I keep it with me. You want to know what's in this book? A story. A fake story. With no live characters, no real people at all. I was messing with them because they annoy me. I don't know if I said that, but that's basically why I did it. And I was like, what I was messing with them about is a anime. And obviously, this vice principal who's like 50 is like, the hell is an anime? And I was like, an anime is like a cartoon. It's a cartoon for older people. It's like Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, Looney Tunes. It's a cartoon. It's fake. That is the story of an anime. You search this up, it will come up, called Death Note. Dude writes down people's names in a book. They die. He dies at the end of it. No one's happy. It's a story. Look at fucking Cinderella, and I don't mean Disney Cinderella. I mean the original from like Germany. Yeah. That shit's disturbing.
It's historic.
But yeah, I got sent down in principal's office because I fucked around and I made people believe that I was like Yagami from Death Note. That's the main character from Death Note.
I legit, I swear to God, I had a kid.
My class was... Those were the kids I grew up with. They're all dumb and idiots.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was talking to Christian and I was like, oh my God, yeah, and I'm the queen of fucking Switzerland. And his response was, oh, you dumb motherfucker.
We used to...
I'm not female, and there's no such thing as a queen in Switzerland!
Do you know...
As far as I know!
Do you know Kai Tools?
Mm-hmm.
He was one of my best friends back in the day, and we used to fuck around with other kids, and we would just say stuff like, yeah, bro, I just got the new Lamborghini. I'd be like, oh yeah, what color is it? And he'd be like, yo, it's red. I'd be like, oh, bro, it's fucking sick, man. I just got that new Ferrari. Maybe we can go whip after school. Keep in mind, 7th fucking grade. Like, we have no idea what these cars really are, how much they cost. I'm like, I'm gonna whip that red Ferrari after school.
You're a young boy. You're gonna lie.
Yeah. But the thing was, we always had kids that would turn around and be like,
You have a Lamborghini?
and me and Kai would just, yeah, at the house. It's parked in the garage. We're gonna be taking it out after school. And we would just say the same shit, and every kid would just, you have a Ferrari? I'm like, yeah, a couple of dirt bikes too.
I wish me and you used to take the same bus ride home from TCHS. Because you want to know, Lord. I had so many conversations on that bus that would draw in random people, and they would ask the $1 million question. What the fuck are you talking about? It was because it was with me and Justin Gans, who are both, as I would describe us, intellectual people. Yeah. This is the man I used to make fun of. I was kind of a bully in a sense, a weird type of bully, but I was more of a boy that, if you don't give a shit, I don't really give a shit. I don't care. I'm kind of a comedian. I fuck with you.
More straightforward than...
I fuck with you. Yeah. That's how I was in middle school, high school, and I don't know, people used to be drawn to that. I used to draw random people to me. And, I remember that I would have conversations with Justin, and it would be the most far-out, crazy things you can speak of. I had this one girl, I think, literally believe that she was in a simulation. That we made her believe none of this is real, and that we are not actually walking, that she's like a 300-year-old person in a hospital with a simulation hooked up to her head, and she has a bedpan under her. I don't know why Justin Gans put in a bedpan. I also know this guy made people believe that he murdered cats in his basement. Why? To fuck with people. Me and him used to talk about everything. I'm not a religious being. He is devoted Catholic. At least he was. His parents brought him up homeschooling, and they're very religious. Strange people. Love them. We would talk about God and religion and stuff. And my viewpoints would be like, I don't really believe there's one. I don't believe there's one. I also believe there's one, maybe. I have no physical proof. And people would be like, for Christianity, would be like, oh, the Bible. Yeah. And my response would be, which one?
Yeah, is the 2021 or the 2020 version or the 2019?
Or the 23 BC version or King Richard's version?
Like,
now, some people's response would be like, yeah, but they're all based on the same thing. And I'm like, yeah, but as a human, like one of my favorite songs by a guy, Hobson, I love this song, is Ill Mind of Hobson. I don't know what number, like 13, 14, 17. One of his songs is him talking about religion and how he's lost his faith in God. And he's like, basically he's saying in the song, he's like, have you actually read the Bible? Me? No. I don't want to bore myself. I don't care. If you believe in God or any other type of religion, good for you. Hope it works. Hope it helps you out some way. Don't try and change me. I don't really care one way or the other. You know, I think that they probably all exist in some weird way. You know, maybe that's what makes all these religions exist, is that you have a group of people believing in them. You know? Maybe if you believe in Goku hard enough, Goku now exists. I don't know how the fucking world works. We still ask these questions. I don't even know what the hell we got talking to this about, but
Religion. Addressing games.
yeah, but we could have conversations like that. Just, I would love to just continue to talk with a guy on a podcast, because what we used to talk about would be so crazy. Like, we got a person to believe that this life we live is not real. We used to fuck with their heads so hard just because I'm kind of a terrible person, and he just likes to fuck with people just to see what he can get away with. He's kind of like the inquisitive person. Like, he would sit there and do something just to see what happens.
Yeah.
He'd be like, what if I do this? And then do it and be like, that's what happens. Like, he would press the big red button just to see what the big red button does. And he'd be like, I nuked Japan. Well, I figured out what the big red button does.
I figured out that's what happens, huh?
He would be the one to sit there and, like, shoot someone if he had access to a gun just to see what would happen, I feel.
Well, maybe the theory of the cats in his basement wasn't too far off. I wonder.
I've been to any such thing, because that, you would assume that you would take notice of that.
Wait, what if this kid was like a fucking super genius?
Could be.
Bro, I swear to God, if in like 40 years from now, we're just chilling.
Yo, if he's a super genius, I make fun of that kid. I used to call him the fucking walking dictionary.
What if we see
I wasn't even fucking clever. I was just like, you're a walking dictionary.
What if we see
You used to
this
read the
dude-
dictionary.
What if we see this dude in the news for like a wanted murder of like 35 people? Listen, usually it's the extremely intelligent people.
I would hate to say that. I don't think I would be that surprised.
I'm just saying, bro.
I also don't think it would be that
Intelligent.
surprised to sit there and be like, yes, he has killed himself and committed suicide and has done 12,000 pounds of drugs or something.
And he came back from the dead.
I mean, let's be honest. There's some
weird
shit in
man.
this world that you can't explain, and I don't want to explain.
I've met a real life, and I swear to God, I still remember this morning and this night. I met a real life murderer in Thorndale of the morning it happened. Like, the dude shook my hand after shooting his stepdad with the same hand at Wall in Thorndale. Me and Justin met this dude 6 o'clock in the morning. Me and Justin were high off our fucking minds.
Were you
and
shaking hands with a random man?
some random dude just
He
walked
must
up.
be going.
Just seeing me and Justin, what are you lovely gentlemen doing this morning? Like, getting some coffee, like, as am I. Like, literally acting like this, like, as am I.
Well, I don't know why, because he's probably happy.
Yes, and he was like, nice to meet you, gentlemen. My name is Jamar or something. And then he left, and then 2 hours later, Justin comes running in my room like, look, there's a news article. I'm gonna look it up as I'm talking about it.
You find it.
Wait, just type in right there. Look up Thorndale.
Thorn.
There you go.
Thorndale, PA.
Guy shoots stepfather. Let's see.
This would have to be old, too. So, like, what time did this happen?
Let me see if I can.
You have a
That's
date?
not it. Yeah, I can find it real quick.
On 287.
Because this was one of the weirdest mornings I've ever had. I remember I felt so weird.
I'm going to open up this one and see if this has a name.
I think. Yeah, Callum Man. Type in Callum Man charged with killing stepfather.
Callan Man charged.
Oh, they had
He's what charged.
you. CH.
Whoops. One thing you guys will learn is that I suck at spelling. Charged
This
with
is very common in people.
murder.
Yeah.
Just that.
It should work for just murder. There he is right there.
This man.
Yep. I'm 100% sure that's him. Yep. Callan man charged with killing stepfather.
Daily local news. So yeah, if you guys have learned that we live in PA.
This is the same article me and Justin read in 2013.
Callan man charged with killing stepfather in custody.
Yep, May 21st.
Westchester, a 19-year-old accused of killing a stepfather after an argument over walking the family dog turned him in.
Dude.
Devine Scott had eluded authorities for nearly 3 days after he shot his stepfather, 36-year-old Joseph Durham. I remember you talking about this.
I remember meeting him that morning.
Monday night inside their home of the First Thorndale block. And did you ever think maybe I should have turned this man in? No, because you didn't know he murdered somebody.
This is the one neighborhood in the golf course we drive through. That's where the neighborhood's at.
Oh damn,
dude,
nice
that was a weird time.
Unfortunately, it's two sides to every story, and that guy could have been abusive or been an asshole of some kind. So you don't know the full story. I'm not going to read the full story because
I read more details, and let's just say that
was he justified?
No.
He
was little cracked out on some shit. He was outside naked with the gun, running around afterwards.
Drugs are a bad thing at times.
Smoke weed. That's a natural plant that can grow from the ground, but if you look at your weed, man, and there's some red strings on it, man, don't smoke it, man. It's not weed, man.
The difference between this is one thing that Joe Rogan had on a guy who's like pro drugs, pro like everything, and his view on it is anything like drugs will be bad if it's not monitored in some way. 100%. He's like, you can take anything, crack. Yeah. And he's like, you can take crack and take it the right way, and it's actually crack. Yeah. It's going to be fine.
Good. It's
and the guy's like,
for you.
Yeah, he's like, usually people run into problems when it's not just crack.
Yeah.
Now you're smoking crack that has battery acid in it. You don't know because obviously crack's illegal, so you have to get it from strange man number 12, and you're like, this dude sketches me out.
So let me ask you, would you rather somebody have a pack of 20 energy drinks in front of you, and they're like, you gotta drink every single one of these by the end of this day? Or
fucking have my heart explode.
Would you rather just have one bump of pure cocaine and it's just, or you could snort this and have enough energy to last you all day, it's natural, and it's not gonna kill you?
If you can guarantee me it's actually cocaine,
I think I'm gonna do the drug.
Because you know what those 12 energy drinks are gonna do by the end of the day? Put me in the hospital because I'll have a fucking heart attack.
And you're gonna have kidney failure by the end of the day.
I'm not gonna be able to search this up because I don't fucking know the dude's name. He's like from Sweden or something during World War II. But did you hear about the guy who went on a fucking crazy drug-fueled rampage in World War II, skiing, fucking killing motherfuckers behind enemy lines?
No.
This is on one of the Joe Rogan podcasts. Yeah, there's apparently a guy. This is true. You can look it up if you can figure it out.
No, that's fucking.
I don't know how to spell skiing.
I can believe it though, man. Those days back then were harsh. You had to take anything you could get.
So I'm just gonna talk to you people while he's going. Boom! Don't you love it? Don't you love it? If you know how to search on Google, you can search up anything. So yes. I recognize this picture, so this is how I know it. But yeah, all you have to do is search on Microsoft Bing. You can probably figure this out on Google too, or whatever search engine you use. But I just typed in "man skiing" in WW2, killing people. And it's the top thing that comes up is the Wikipedia page. Now, also Wikipedia, take it with a grain of salt. But yes, I found it. Boom. What?
You actually found it?
Yeah, I found it. This is him.
Shit. Yeah,
Amino Kuvaman.
he does.
October 17th, 1917 to August 12, 1989, was a Finnish soldier in World War II. And the first documented case of a soldier overdosing on methamphetamine during combat. Koivunen was a Finnish soldier assigned to a ski patrol on April 20th, 1944, along with several other Finnish soldiers. 3 days into their mission on March 18th, the group was attacked and surrounded by Soviet forces, from which they managed to escape. Koivunen became fatigued after skiing for a long distance, but could not stop. He was also the sole carrier of the Army-issued Pervitin, or methamphetamine, a stimulation used to remain awake while on duty. Koivunen had trouble pulling out a single pill, so he emptied the entire bottle of 30 capsules in his hand and took them all. He had a short burst of energy, but then entered a state of delirium and lost consciousness. Koivunen remembered waking up the following morning, separated from his patrol and having no supplies. In the following days, he escaped Soviet forces once again, was injured by a landmine, and laid in a ditch for a week waiting for help. After realizing help's not coming, skiing more than 400 kilometers, 250 miles, holy shit, and admitted to a nearby hospital, where his heart rate was measured at 200 beats per minute, triple the average human heartbeat, and weighing only 43 kilograms, 94 pounds. In a week, Koivunen was gone. He had subsisted only on pine buds and a single Siberian jay that he caught and ate raw. Okay, so he wasn't killing people, but this man went on. He could have been killing people. He has a week of unknown shit. He just went on basically unconscious for a week. Who knows what the fuck happened to him? He hit a landmine and then fucking continued to be like, fuck, no one's helping me, after hitting a landmine for a week and basically laying in a ditch bleeding. Was like, fuck, no one's coming for me. Fuck it. I'm just gonna fucking ski fucking 400 kilometers to the nearest fucking town.
Bro, this man literally skied for over a day straight. Didn't stop for a day.
While having a landmine injury.
So.
And also having a heartbeat of 200 beats per minute.
Yeah, that's
and weighing about 94 pounds.
That's not the human body that's functioning anymore. That's literally just your skeleton running on drugs.
Drugs are a hell of a thing.
That's
also
all that
adrenaline is an amazing drug.
Just
like basically on methamphetamine.
That's it. I mean, you're
took
showing
fucking
up.
30 of them. How did he get overdoses behind me?
You're showing up to the doctors basically just to say, "Hey, I'm dead. Fix this." Like, you what?
And they fixed him somehow.
And some fucking bro.
He lived. He ended up surviving and died peacefully at the age of 71.
Damn, and he did the entire service of World War II. The whole thing. I mean, he missed 1 year, but that was probably the accident that occurred.
Yeah.
So he was in there during
1939 to 1944.
Oh, he was stuck in the Winter War. Ooh, no, yeah, he was doing drugs.
And I quote from Joe Rogan's podcast, I can't remember which one, he's probably said this multiple times, but on one of Joe Rogan's podcasts, and I quote, "That is the face of a man that has seen God, spit in it, and skied away."
Yep. And literally, and look at that right there. Inside the drug use that fueled Nazi Germany. So almost all of them were out there just... You know what? It kind of explains a lot of the fucking crazy ideas and how they got through that shit. Because there was not a single person on that battlefield that wanted to kill. There was a couple. There was a couple evil fucking people that worked for Germany and they loved
Here's
that
the thing
shit.
that also Joe Rogan talked on one of his podcasts. Probably the same one where they talked about this guy. Was psychologically, the higher-ups in the German army kind of brainwashed their troops in a weird way to a thing where it was like, it was basically brainwashed to a certain way where it was just like if you were to ask Private York, I don't know a German name, that sounds German to me, York. If you ask Private York, why did you murder millions of people? And he'll be like, because Private Stein was also doing it. And like they made it be normal.
Yeah.
Like they somehow brainwash people some way. I don't know the specifics, but I think it was in one of the psychology ones.
Yeah.
Where Joe Rogan's talking to a psychologist, where it was just like, the psychologist was like, yeah, well, in World War II, if you look at it, they kind of did a weird thing where they brainwashed people.
Yeah.
So if you ask that person why you did it, that's terrible, you're a terrible human being, they'll sit there and be like, no, I'm not. That's the normal thing to do.
Did you know?
Everyone was doing it. My grandfather did it. My father did it. It was normal. It's not a normal thing to do. It's terrible, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you know that there was one specific Nazi scientist that even Hitler was kind of like, I don't know about you, man. Like even Hitler himself, the one that started all of this, looked at, I forget his name, but this dude was like, when it comes to the lowest of low that you could possibly get for torturing humans, he was there. I mean, I'm talking, he took out the nerves of people's bodies.
Damn.
Like, he'll find a set of twins and go, I want to see what happens if I drain out all of your blood, put it in your twin's body, and then drain her blood and put it in your body. I want to see if, like, something happens there. Like, nothing's going to happen. They're just going to die. And he'd be like, well, so be it. And so
I have figured out they have died.
they would literally strap them alive in the chair. No medicine, no nothing. Be like, we're just going to drain your blood until you're done. Like, that's some evil shit, man.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of evil people. But then there's also some things that came from that man that you will never know that came from him.
Yeah.
That it's just like, yeah, well, that same man that did that also invented about 50% of the drugs we use nowadays. And you're going to be like,
yeah. That whole war.
Fucked
also,
up, but it also helped us.
World War II. Like the whole headphone system, we got this from war. We didn't get headphones from we need a cellular device or we need something to hear music. No, that was from us in the 1900s going.
Most technology is invented in a time of war for whatever reason.
And headphones started out with planes and giving interceptions where it's like, you guys got like 5 bombers coming your way. Okay. Like we'll move camp to this area over here.
Nazi code.
Yeah, basically that's what they were doing. It's a weird time back then, man.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad that it's 2021 and we get to sit here and have a podcast on YouTube.
Yep. I think another good segue out of this would be, because I know your response to this would pertain to this in a way. And I think I kind of wanted to touch on this on the first episode, is that is kind of our view towards women. And I remember I asked you this question. I'm not going to read your response. I'm just going to read what I texted you. It was maybe a week ago. Let's see. Looking for it, sorry. Yes, we could.
I got PlayStation Live now.
I think I found it because your response is so long. Nope, never mind.
Maybe we could.
Nope, there it is.
You got it?
So I said, dude, I'm loving these podcasts. I'm listening to the Joe Rogan podcast with Jordan Preston. He's a psychologist. You almost spotted. Probably because it was like, 12 a.m. in the morning. Because I work night shift now. I was like, makes me think of a question that I want to ask. Do you think women should be fighting on the battlefield?
I mean, in my personal opinion, I think they do. But at the end of the day, it's really, I mean, I don't think that they should be like 100% should be out there. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you as a human if that's something that you want to do with your life.
Yep.
But there's a lot of girls out there, man, they just got that fighting power in them.
Oh, yeah.
And back in WW2, I think it might have been if they had a cabinet